Welcome into STB Sports Take, some of the best sports podcast. I'm your host, Sean Bingham. And joining me again is, of course, Byron Terry. I am live from Bali, Indonesia. Byron is holding it down in Atlanta, Georgia. But we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we are there. Please also subscribe there and follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Spread the love, you guys. We got a quick but good show for you today, talking a lot of NFL. At the time of us recording, we are still going in Monday Night Football. It's the fourth quarter. Chiefs and Jags are tied. I, of course, in my Sean's Surefire 5, had the Chiefs covering the spread in that one. So we'll hope to get that. One of them that I got wrong, by the way, Byron, was the Bills-Patriots. I mean, who saw this coming? Who saw the Bills losing to the Patriots at home? The Bills lose at home. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was flying over here. What happened in that game? Did you see much? What are you reading? What happened there?
That game was very surprising. Josh Allen
Yeah.
didn't play the best, and there were turnovers on both sides for the Bills and the Patriots. So both teams were having a good bit of turnovers, but I don't know. The Bills just didn't look as good as I thought they'd be. Their offense wasn't really
Yeah.
clicking very much, but Drake May really came alive when he was supposed to, and they ended up getting the win. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you wonder if it's a case of like just overlooking an opponent, maybe thinking it's going to be an easy one because you're the far superior team and you're playing them at home. And surprise, surprise, the Patriots steal the win. So interesting note, though, you mentioned Drake May. I don't know if you saw this, but of course, Drake May, do you know where he went to college? He went to
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina. Okay. So normally when a quarterback does really well for your school in the NFL, that school will post about it like, oh, like, great job by our former QB, Drake May, beating the Bills at home, or on the road rather for him. And it was the Sunday night game too, wasn't it? I think it was. Normally you'd see some posts about that, some bragging. Well, apparently Bill Belichick has banned any posting about the Patriots by North Carolina's program. So he is saying no posting about the Patriots. Some serious grudges being held by Bill Belichick if this is true, which I got to believe that it is. Did you read that though? That Bill Belichick is telling North Carolina you are not to post about Drake May or the Patriots, even though he went here to North Carolina.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. It's very petty of Bill Belichick, but it makes
Yeah,
sense though. Knowing how Bill Belichick kind of operates, it makes sense. And the thing is, I think the Patriots scouts are banned at North Carolina's facilities too. And
yeah.
people were saying that Belichick said, "Okay, well, I can't go in New England's facility. I can't go over there, so their scouts can't come over here." And it's like, dude, like put your players
But he's
first.
only hurting
Know
his
your
own players. Yeah,
Yeah,
put your players
yeah.
first. Exactly, Byron. So to me, if I'm a player, that's a major turn off. It's like you're not helping their case at all. You're not allowing them to even give props to their former guys. You're not allowing their current guys to get viewed in the same light they would otherwise. And do you think the Patriots are going to want to take a North Carolina player now? Yeah, right. They're going to be looking the other way. So to me, it's very petty by Bill Belichick, and he's only hurting himself, his program, and worst of all, his players. So
Yeah.
kind of an interesting note there. Okay, one more thing in the NFL. Well, several more in the NFL, but the next one I want to get to is my Commanders go out and beat the Chargers on the road. Everyone had the Chargers as like a top 5 team. Jaden Daniels comes back, looks amazing. Again, I was flying, so I didn't get to see it, but I've watched some highlights of the games and I've looked at the box scores and things like that. But I'm very proud of my Commanders. No Terry McLaurin; he was out for another week with a quad injury. But Jaden Daniels looked very, very good, very healthy. Commanders get the dub 27-10. And Justin Herbert did not look that great. And an interesting thing here, Jaden Daniels, when he was at ASU before his LSU days, he was at Arizona State, and he spoiled Justin Herbert and Oregon's chance at going to the playoffs by beating them late in the season in a Pac-12 matchup. When I think the Arizona State Sun Devils were just like 5-5 or 6-5 or something like that. They're floating right around 500, and Oregon was looking for a playoff spot. And Jaden Daniels against Justin Herbert in that game, and Jaden Daniels spoiled that one as well. So Jaden gets the better of Justin Herbert. That's a battle of two guys that many would argue should be in the top 5. The quarterback discussion, something we discussed a few days ago. I, of course, have Jaden Daniels in my top 5. Other people have Herbert. I know you said right now you've got Stafford. Has your opinion changed at all, by the way? Just we've only had one game since that discussion, but
I mean, it's changed just a little bit, only because the LA Rams didn't really look all that great against the 49ers
Didn't-
offensively, so might have to knock
Stafford did look pretty good
Stafford
though,
down. Yeah. May have to
but
knock them down a notch only because their team isn't necessarily doing what they're supposed to do. And I don't know what's going on with that, but Jaden Daniels looked great. He looked
yeah,
fantastic. He's back healthy, and he's showing why, hey, there's a reason why I was the best rookie in the NFL last year. There's a reason why I have
yeah,
all these awards. Just because I wasn't healthy for the first few weeks, that doesn't matter.
yep,
He came back strong, and that was very evident.
yep. Yeah, and I'm like very glad that they held him out for that extra week just to make sure that he was healthy. Commanders now 3-2. Eagles dropped a game, their first game of the season, and so that now puts the Commanders just one game back in that division. So very winnable division for them. They got to get the Eagles next time they play them. But I'm pretty stoked, and hopefully Debo looked really good, and hopefully Terry McLaurin comes back healthy soon. I think it's a pretty minor injury for him, just missing again, I think they're just being cautious. They just paid him a big contract. He's an important part of the team. So I think it's just a matter of being cautious. But going back to that 49ers and Rams game, it was on Thursday night, actually. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently, so obviously Brock Purdy was out. So they had Mac Jones starting in his place. Did you see this? Mac Jones ate 11 bananas on the sideline during the game. He had
11? I saw
11
one. I didn't
bananas.
see 11. What in the
He ate
world?
11. So I'm guessing it's to keep from cramping. Obviously, there's a lot of potassium in bananas. And so maybe he has cramping issues or something like that. But yeah, he had 11 bananas during the course of that game, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I liked his post-game press conference where he said, no, this is Brock Purdy's team. They brought me here to be a backup, and I'm here to support him and help him in any way I can as the backup. I thought that was pretty cool. So, yeah, really cool stuff going on there. And then, by the way, the Jags did just take the lead in Monday Night Football. They're up 24-21. I'm 2-2 in Sean's Surefire 5, but this would put me at 3-2, which of course would win you money if you had listened to me. So we'll see if we can get that final one. So also, Byron, I just mentioned that the Eagles dropped their first game of the season to bring the Commanders up to within one game of them in the NFC East. But they lose to the Broncos, who Broncos are a good team. They were good last year. We've got kind of Bo Nix emerging as a potential top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is someone we talked about if he is or isn't a top 5 guy. Funny note before I toss to you to kind of get your thoughts on that game. Did you know that Daniel Jones has more passing yards in the NFL than Jalen Hurts does? Daniel Jones is viewed as like this
I
cast-off guy
saw.
that was no good. But yeah, he has more passing yards than Jalen Hurts. So what happened in that game? Again, I'm just seeing box scores as I was flying. It was a 15-hour flight to Korea. I missed all of the NFL stuff. So I've just been trying to catch up on highlights and box scores. But what happened in that game between the Broncos and the Eagles?
Yeah, that game was super surprising. I did not expect the Eagles to play the way they did. I was expecting them to score more than 17 points. Didn't
Yeah.
think they were just going to score 17 points. I think their defense did a pretty good job holding the Broncos to only 21. And, when the defense is out on the field a good bit, they're going to break down at some point during the game. But I was impressed with Bo Nix. He went 24-39 for 242 yards and a touchdown and no interceptions. So he definitely did his job. And the running back, J.K. Dobbins, had a touchdown. And Cortland Sutton had 8 catches for 99 yards. So they played a pretty solid game. And the Broncos usually always have a pretty good defense dating back to 2015 when they won the Super Bowl that year. So it's not a surprise that their defense played as well as they did. But on the Eagles side, I don't know. It seemed like they just kind of broke down, and Jalen Hurts was 23 of 38 for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. So when he did throw the ball, he threw the ball pretty well, but there were
Yeah.
some missed opportunities during the game. Yeah, AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, the connection was looking decent. AJ had 5 catches for 43 yards, but there was one play in particular where AJ was running a deep route. He kind of tries to make a move on the defensive back. He's going deep, and AJ appears to slow down, but it looks like Jalen overthrew him. But I think on that one, I think it was
Hmm.
probably AJ's fault on that. And everybody's saying, well, whose fault it is? And I even saw a tweet where they said Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown had some sort of a meeting recently to kind of fix things. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was reported. But I don't know. Their
Hmm.
offense, they got to get it together.
So the thing that stood out to me was I'm seeing Saquon Barkley had 6 carries. What kind of game plan is that, Philadelphia? Like, this is what I was talking about. Did the Eagles get too caught up in the media hype and craze of like Jalen Hurts has to do more? We got to get AJ Brown more involved. If you shift your game plan away from what's working, you lose to the Broncos. To me, the Eagles are a run first team. They need to stay a run first team. You went and got Saquon Barkley for a reason. He has 6 carries. Six? He's the best running back in the NFL. That guy should be getting a handoff 15 times bare minimum to run the ball, and then a few out of the backfield as well. And that's bare minimum 15. It should probably be more like 20 carries a game. But to have just 6, to me, that was just absolutely insane. And it does make you wonder, did the Eagles get caught up in all of us media people? Not me, I guess, not us, but, like ESPN, Fox, they're all over the place saying, oh, the Jalen Hurts needs to pass the ball more. AJ Brown is even more involved. AJ Brown's been complaining and whining. So did they get caught up in trying to show we can pass first, we can get AJ Brown involved? And in the meantime, Saquon Barkley gets just 6 carries and they lose the game. So again, I didn't watch it. I'm just looking at things from afar for this particular week. But to me, that just jumped off the page of like 6 carries for Saquon Barkley. And one of the 2 passing touchdowns that Jalen had was to Saquon Barkley. I mean, he's your best playmaker. You got to get him the ball. So that was a really bad thing. So speaking of disgruntled receivers, by the way, we mentioned AJ Brown. Now Jamar Chase is not disgruntled. He's just dealing with a hurt starter. But Jamar Chase had 3 tackles on Sunday because he tackled the guy all 3 times that had intercepted it from Jake Browning. So Jamar Chase, to me, the most talented receiver in the NFL, he's got to be very frustrated there in Cincinnati to go from Joe Burrow, who was like up here, top of the top echelon in the NFL, to Jake Browning, who's definitely, in that lower, probably among the bottom 3 or 4 quarterbacks that are starting currently. And Jamar Chase has to chase down a guy 3 times to save pick sixes. So the Bengals, it's going to be tough. Do you think Joe Burrow, if you're the Bengals, Byron, do you bring Joe Burrow back for the last few games of the season if this continues? Do you look for a different quarterback right now? Are you trying to go get like a Kirk Cousins who's just sitting on the bench in Atlanta? You're there in Atlanta. I don't know what people think of Kirk Cousins there. Obviously, Michael Penix Jr. is the quarterback of the now and the future. But Kirk Cousins is way better than Jake Browning. Should the Bengals be going after a guy like that? Would Atlanta give him up? What would that take? I don't know if you've even thought about that, but that was the thought I had.
Yeah, due to the Bengals' quarterback struggles, I was thinking they possibly make a play for Russell Wilson. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about that because, you would have Russell Wilson throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and those guys, which would be pretty good combination, pretty good trio there. And Russell Wilson still can throw the ball. He can still play at a pretty decent level. So I wouldn't
Yeah,
be too
he can.
surprised if they made it go for that. But Kirk Cousins is still here on Atlanta's bench collecting, I don't know, $40 million this year or 20 something
Yeah,
million, whatever it is.
yeah,
So he kind of has the best job in the world. But if he would like to go to Cincinnati, I don't think that'd be a bad thing.
yeah. Now, from Atlanta's standpoint, I'm sure they're looking at it thinking they're seeing what the Commanders just did with Marcus Mariota as a backup. If you have a solid backup, you can still win games and stay in the hunt. Flip side of that is Jake Browning and the Bengals. If you don't have a solid backup, you're in big trouble if your guy goes down. So I can see why the Falcons wouldn't want to give him up just yet. But at the same time, that's a big paycheck just sitting on your bench who's only got, a couple years left in the league as it is. I'm surprised the Bengals aren't trying to make a move. Personally, I would rather have, I agree with you, Russell Wilson can still play, but personally, I would rather have Kirk Cousins over Russell Wilson, especially when it comes to a pass first offense with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Kirk Cousins can still throw dimes, and he's definitely a pass first guy. And I think Russell Wilson has lost a little bit. He's still got the moon ball, but it does feel like he's taken some major steps backwards in his career this last couple seasons. I still think he's a viable option, but personally, for me, I would rather have Kirk Cousins. Are you saying you'd rather have Russell Wilson though?
Just for their style of offense, Russell Wilson is quicker than Kirk Cousins, and he
Yeah,
can
he is.
still throw the ball at a high level. But I don't think either option is bad, but I'm leaning toward Russ a little bit more. And you
Hmm.
had mentioned that should the Bengals bring Joe Burrow back sometime at the end of the season, and the way it's looking, I'm not sure. If they can make the
Yeah.
playoffs, if there's a possibility, then go ahead. But defense hasn't been playing that good really all season. They've made some plays here and
Yeah.
there, but they haven't really been
Yeah. Yeah.
playing up to par. Offense just hasn't looked good. So, what if the Bengals draft a quarterback in like the top 3 rounds soon, just in case, because Joe Burrow's been getting hurt a lot and they want to have a viable backup option? Do you think they
Yeah.
could do something like that?
Yeah. I mean, Joe Burrow is a guy that if he's healthy, he's the type of guy where like we don't need anyone at backup. But the problem is he's always hurt. So if you're the Bengals, I would be like highly concerned at who my backup is, just because he's always hurt. And so I would be looking to get the best possible backup I could. I think that's the case for every NFL team, but even more so for the teams that have injury prone guys or maybe in a quarterback controversy type team. Joe Burrow's, of course, one of the top guys in the league, but he's hurt so much. I would invest heavily in my backup quarterback if I'm the Bengals. So,
Hmm.
Byron, quick note, that game is now the Chiefs just scored, so it's 27-24. They're about to kick the extra point, which if they get this, let me check my pick'ems. I know I picked the Chiefs to cover. I think it was only 3.5, which this would put them up by 4 right now. So I'm crossing my fingers here. There's still a minute 45 left. So reviewing Sean's Surefire 5, I told you guys to take the Texans. The Texans rolled the Ravens. That's another one. Look at what happens when you have a backup quarterback. Cooper Rush goes in for the Ravens. They score 10 points. Now, the Ravens defense didn't do them any favors, giving up 44 points. But I was surprised to see the Dolphins lose to the Panthers. I got that one wrong. I picked the Cowboys over the Jets, got that one correct. And then, of course, we talked about the Bills. Nobody expected the Bills to lose to the freaking Patriots at home. But right now, it is the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs by 3.5. So I just need them to make this extra point, and we're golden. And they haven't kicked it yet, or they haven't. Is it a 2-point conversion? What's going on here?
They just kicked it.
Oh, they just kicked it. Okay, good. So now I'm in the clear. So now we just need to make sure that the Jags don't go down and score a touchdown. All right, it is time for the STB Sports Take NFL Power Rankings. I'm going to start, Byron. I've got my 5 best teams in the NFL as we stand right now. At number 5, I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. They're 4-1, and they just showed that they can win even with the backup quarterback, Mac Jones. I think this team is for real. The fact that they beat the Rams in the way they did, big win for them. Again, tied for first place in the NFL at 4-1. But I also just think they are showing that they can do it on both sides of the football. At number 4, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they're only 2-2, about to be 3-2, it looks like, as we're recording this during Monday Night Football. But the Chiefs, I don't get it. People just want to always write them off and put other teams ahead of them. But they just keep winning. They go to the Super Bowl every year. They win their division every year. So to me, the Chiefs are still absolutely in the hunt for another Super Bowl title. I've got the Chiefs at number 4. Again, I think they have the best coach in the NFL and arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. And those are 2 of the most important things you can possibly have. So then at number 3, this one's tough. So my top teams are kind of like mixing around, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions at number 3. The Lions are someone that we were kind of had a question mark. How good were they going to be as they lose their offensive coordinator? Were they going to have the same explosive offense? The first week, it looked like, oh, shoot, maybe not. But now they've reeled off 4 straight wins, looking very, very good, very dominant, looking like they haven't missed a step from last year. So I've got the Detroit Lions at number 3. Then at number 2, I have the Washington Commanders. Just kidding, I don't. just wanted to throw you off. No, I do not have the Commanders. This one's tough, but I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills at number 2. The Buffalo Bills, they did just lose that game to the Patriots, which is really weird to me, but they're still 4-1. They still have Josh Allen. They're still that same team we've seen. So I'm going to go with the Bills at number 2. And then at number 1, as much as I hate to admit it, I got to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're still the defending champs. They went away from their typical game plan, not getting Saquon involved, and it cost them. I think you'll see them correct that moving forward and likely give Saquon the ball 15 to 20 times and reel off a bunch more wins. So those are my top 5. Again, in order now: Eagles at 1, Bills at 2, Lions at 3, Chiefs at 4, Niners at 5. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. I like it. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go instead of 5-1. I'm gonna go 1-5. So at number 1, I guess right now for this week, I have the Detroit Lions. I think other than that one game they had where the offense wasn't really looking that great, every other game has been pretty good this season, and their defense has been playing pretty good, and their offense is just clicking on all cylinders, especially the combination of Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but also Jahmyr Gibbs too. He's been going crazy. Just whole offense has just been playing really well lately, so I'll go with them at number one.
Dude,
And
and that
number
1-2
two,
punch
mhm,
of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, is that the best backfield in the NFL? That's got to be.
yes, right now, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, sorry, keep
Number
going.
two, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they just lost, but with all their issues and everything that's going on, apparently, they're still only 4-1. So if they're playing like that and they're only 4-1, I'll take it. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Best 4-1 team
Yeah.
probably in the league. And at number
Yep.
three, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is playing really well. He's even looking like an MVP candidate. I got to throw him up there. Number four, I have, and this might be a surprise, the oh no. This is actually not a surprise. I have the San Francisco 49ers at number four. And like you were
Okay.
saying, they've proved that they can win with a backup quarterback, and they've had so many injuries and they're still winning and they still look great. So I'm gonna put them at four. But number
Okay.
five, this is the surprise team, the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Indianapolis Colts at number five.
You don't think they're more in the pretender category? I think the Colts are pretenders. I think you're going to see that it's not going to hold up. It's not going to last. That's my thought on the Colts.
We'll see. We'll see. I think they'll be
Yeah.
all right.
But give them their props right now. They're 4-1. Daniel Jones is playing great. I like your Bucks pick. To me, the Bucks are just on the outside of that top five. I'd have them somewhere around 6 or 7, but they are playing very well. 4-1. Baker Mayfield's looking like the number one overall pick that he was. It just took him a few seasons. And man, how dumb do the Browns feel right now, dude? The Browns like moved heaven and earth to get rid of Baker Mayfield to bring in Deshaun Watson, and everything for their franchise has fallen apart since that point. Meanwhile, Baker had to move around a little bit, but he found a home in Tampa Bay, and he's looking like a superstar quarterback again.
He sure is. I love Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield's tenacity and grit. It's nice to see.
yeah, yeah. Very cool. Okay, last thing to wrap up the podcast today, Byron, we got to talk about King James. Now, we all remember, you might because you're so young, you might not because you're so young, but the decision when he took his talents to South Beach and left Cleveland for the first time to go to Miami and play with the Heat and D Wade and Chris Bosh, Pat Riley was bringing them all in. Huge deal. He got tons of lashback from fans and media alike for doing the decision, even though I thought it was kind of cool. Like he gave all the money that was generated from it to charity. It was a huge media thing. It drew a ton of attention. And to me, he was approached to do it by ESPN, and he did not benefit from it financially at all. So I actually thought it was kind of cool. I thought the lashback he got was unwarranted. But he is leaning into that and having the decision number two, on October 7th, which for me is tomorrow. For you is in 2 days. I'm a day and a half ahead here in Bali. But October 7th, LeBron will have decision number two, which I think is undoubtedly going to be that he is announcing a farewell tour this season. He's retiring. I've been saying this for weeks, even months, that this is going to be his final season. He tried to get an extension with the Lakers. They didn't want it. I can't see him going anywhere else unless it was maybe back to the Cavs or somewhere he might be able to win a title. But he's in LA. He wants to stick in LA. This is season 23. He's number 23. There's so much poetry around this that I think it's inevitable that this is going to be a farewell tour retirement announcement for LeBron James. And if it is, I mean, get ready for an incredible season for the Lakers. I already saw that the last game of the season in LA at it's not Staples Center anymore, right? It's Crypto
Crypto.
Arena. Okay, the last game of the season at the Crypto Arena, I want to say Staples Center. The ticket price, it's against the Utah Jazz, by the way, my hometown team. The ticket price, the minimum price is now $495, up from $65. So everyone is anticipating this being a farewell tour announcement, a retirement announcement. And if it is, everyone knows I'm a Jordan guy first, but my hat comes off literally and figuratively to LeBron. I mean, this is a guy who has changed the league, who is an all-time great. So I want to give my props where props are due to LeBron James, if it is indeed a retirement tour announcement. What do you think, though?
I think I think you make a good point, and a lot of people were saying that it could be a sort of farewell tour announcement. But I think it'll be an advertisement. I feel like it'll be an advertisement and I think this is something just to get the people talking. I think it'll be an
Dude, you're probably
advertisement.
right. Honestly, right as you say that, I'm like, you're probably right. It's probably some ad. It's probably some.
Mm.
Wow, that's an interesting thought. You're probably right. And by the way, I know you're watching. I just looked. The Jags just did me dirty
Yeah,
on my picks and
the
scored a
Jags are
touchdown.
gonna probably win. That's
Dude,
insane.
props to the Jags. Maybe they can go down and get a field goal. Maybe the Chiefs can. So Trevor Lawrence has 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep. Trevor Lawrence
Wow.
fell after taking the snap on that last rushing touchdown and got up and ran it in.
No way. Wow. Trevor Lawrence, 18 to 25. That's the guy that was number 1 overall that looked like he had it going, and then he, for like 2 or 3 seasons, looked pretty bad. This season, he's coming back alive. If the Jags get this, they'll be 4-1, and they should be talked about in our power rankings. Honestly, if the Jags can win this game, gosh, that makes it really interesting for me in my power rankings because I just barely put the Chiefs in there, and it looks like they're going to lose to the Jags, and the Jags will be 4-1. Meanwhile, the Chiefs will be 2-3, and it's a completely different story. I still think the Chiefs are a team to be reckoned with, even if they lose this game, but don't want to overlook the Jags at this point. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Trevor Lawrence. I met him down at a visit at the University of Florida. He is
Oh,
as
did you?
advertised. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Back in like 2016 in the spring, it was a spring visit. Trevor came by and they were saying, "Hey, there's this 5-star recruit. They're taking him on a golf cart and showing him around." And I'm like, "I don't know who it is. Who is it?" They're like, "Trevor Lawrence." And I'm like, "I don't know who that is." Really? Because I'm from a town in McDonough, Georgia that's kind of far from Cartersville. But I saw him,
Yeah.
talked to him a little bit, chatted it up with him, and it's been cool since then. But yeah, huge, big guy. My dad met him at
Yeah.
a gas station like 2 summers ago too. Thought that was funny.
Really? How tall is he?
Yeah,
Like 6'5"?
6'6", they
6'6".
say.
6'6", dude. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's what do you're live there. What is the score? I've got 31-28 with 23 seconds left.
Let me see. It's 16 seconds left, 31-28, and the Chiefs are coming off a flag.
Okay,
They
so the
got
Chiefs have
they
got
got a
a
holding penalty.
dang. Well, we'll see. Maybe they can kick a field goal. I wouldn't put it past Mahomes to get him in field goal range within just a few seconds, then send this thing to overtime, and maybe my pick can still be right, but we'll see. That's all the time we have for today, though, guys. Thank you for tuning in. You will see the results of the game before this gets posted anyway. That's all we got. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on social media, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, everything. We are out. Peace.